Back to the topic that we had on the first Rail Talk, which was safety and security. And I have a questioner asking, I go to Burrard Station, but get on at Gateway, and maybe once in a 7-day trip, I have only had one officer on my train. You say security is increased, but I don't see it.
Okay, should you get off at
Between
Gateway?
Burrard and Gateway.
Oh, okay.
And she says once in 7 days she sees only one officer on the train.
Okay. Well, we've good question. I guess the first thing is, do you need an officer or do you just want to see an officer? Those are different. It's like we did a bunch of, Drew, I think as you know, we did a lot of extensive customer focus groups last summer and really came out with a safety security strategy. If you need an officer, we've got tools available to get one for you. Not just an officer, but also a SkyTrain attendant, right? So a first responder who knows first aid and other stuff.
And she says, by the way, she'd like to see an officer.
Okay.
So it's the visibility question.
Well, we've got more officers out there than has ever been on the history of the system right now. Part of the research we did, the focus groups with our customers, was specifically around, they said they want 4 stations in particular they actually feel least safe at.
Right.
And we've now got dedicated staff as long as we're open there at those stations. And we've actually, if you even follow the media has died down a significant amount around this subject as it was pretty heightened last year. So we have dedicated staff at, I might get this wrong, so I apologize. Surrey Central, I think it's at New West, at Broadway Station, and Main Street, I think it was. So those 4 stations we've got dedicated staff at all the time. And that was to respond to so we've also done some changes in our shift rotations. This is a technical thing behind the scenes in our scheduling with our staff to be able to do that. But in addition to that, there's also been definitely a lot more police officers out on the system, more so than ever before. Now, if you haven't seen one per se, I rode the system today, I saw 3. I see SkyTrain attendants out there all the time. One thing that I think is really interesting is when you carry high volumes of people, and when you have a network like we have over 130 entrance points just in the stations themselves. And most people don't. So seeing an officer, you may not see them on the train. So we've actually taken our staff off the trains and deployed them based on the focus groups. The people actually wanted to see them in the stations, less on the trains. So doesn't mean it's right. You may have to adjust at some point. But also we also do this thing, as I mentioned earlier, about mystery shopping. Mm-hmm. And I actually shop. Did you see very consistently, anytime, anywhere, they're dressed, they're a teacher, they're a husband, a wife, they're a lawyer, doctor, they do mystery shopping for us, out on the system anywhere, anytime. And one of the questions we ask is, did you see somebody who in a uniform and staff? And interestingly enough, quite consistently now, give or take a few percentage points, 50% of the time, so 1 in 2 times, they're looking for someone to actually audit. And that's a binary yes or no answer. By station, they actually see them. So that's a pretty high strike rate for visibility on a pretty large system. But I would suggest if you need assistance, the key part is that you can get it. That's the big part for me. To me, I think there's another role in here, and that's for us as the traveling public. It's a bit like Block Watch. So that's part of this text messaging system we're devising is how do you make it Skywatch, where we all got to look out for each other too. This is just like a roadway. This is like a corridor that if you see something wrong, see something, say something. Let somebody know that you maybe need assistance or you're feeling uncomfortable, go to another train car, get off the train, catch the next train, hit that yellow strip, ask for help if you're really feeling uncomfortable. But trust me, I can assure you by mystery shopping, by all the other results out there, we watch this pretty closely. And by the metrics we've seen, it's actually improving. In fact, a lot of customer feedback overall has been actually quite positive for us. But we're going to have to watch it. There's no doubt. There's no easy answer here.
That's true. We have to be wrapping this up. Okay. But just to return to the original point of all this, the snow service and service during wintertime and heading into the Olympics. Once again, Doug, what have we learned? How are we moving forward on this now? Are there things that we're able to fix or simply be in a better position to respond to next time something goes sideways?
just before I respond to that, what I'd also like, maybe if the participants today could even just write in really quickly while I respond to your question, what other topics would they like to hear about? Is this a value? Would you like to continue with this, etc.? Because one only want to do, I'm not doing this for me, I want to make sure that it's a valuable tool for others. But to answer your question, there's some practice and policy issues that we've changed, how we as human beings, what we need to do. There's some technological fixes, what you talked about, track switches and splices, we're focusing very, very heavy resources on to get dealt with this year. And so, and that in addition to, I'll call the trees and the arborist type of thing, those are the big three hitters for us that got us into trouble and caused us problems. The medical emergency side, we are always looking to increase our protocols to how you do that better. But fundamentally, those big three, I'm not sure we really would have been down outside of those. So all in all, I'm actually even going to the Olympics and being the accountable one for the Olympics. Trust me, I sure wouldn't put this in the nightmare category. It's in the wakemare category until we get it fixed, and I think we're going to get there.
Doug, Kelsey, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for taking part. We look forward to Rail Talk 3 coming soon. Thanks very much.